Did it or didn't do it? Was there a foot rub this week? Was there a movie this week? Was there an outdoor adventure this week? Simple. Super, super simple. You can put tons of time and effort into things that really don't matter a lot. And then you wonder why you're not succeeding.
Measuring it can literally just look like checking in and saying, oh, I realize that I don't really feel super fulfilled in our outdoor adventures. Like, let's go do that, right? That check-in moment is so big. And are you measuring what matters? This is really, are you measuring what matters in terms of your cup fillers? So, conscious couples, business partners, and singles committed to attracting their dream partner. Welcome to the Conscious Couples podcast, where we share our life, love story, and combined relationship expertise to help you create and consistently cultivate the most magnificent, intimate relationship possible.
Never again will you feel hopeless and alone in your intimate relationship challenges.
Having accumulated thousands of hours coaching conscious couples and individuals all over the world, as well as starting and growing a global business together, Alan and I are here to guide you in all things relationships.
Thank you again for tuning into the one place where it's not about you or me, it's about the we. Conscious couples and individuals, welcome back to the one and only Conscious Couples podcast. This is episode number, what's the number?
63.
Episode number 63. This is going to be on, drum roll please. Are you measuring what matters in your relationship? So as always, we want to say thank you to the Next Level Podcast Solutions team. Thank you for producing this show and 39 others.
Wow.
Wowza. Sweetheart, as always, what is your intention for today's episode?
My intention is to help our listeners start thinking about what matters most in their relationship, and who knows where that can lead them.
Okay. That was a lot quicker than I expected. So Emilia also has a story to lead us into this episode about this concept.
Yes. So Alan and I, circa, 2019? This was like when we were just starting out. I want to say it was 2019.
I think 2018.
Yeah. Okay, 2018. All right. So we weren't officially together yet.
It was October of 2018.
December.
When you and I had first met.
Yes. And then December was this. Okay. Yes. So Alan and I were at a wedding in Newport, Rhode Island, which is a beautiful place.
You were wearing green that night.
I was wearing green.
Just like you are.
This
now.
Color green.
Yep.
Exactly. And it had sparkles on it. It was all cool. We weren't officially together yet. And it was actually a very, very special night, not only because we were going there to celebrate love, but because of the amazing things that came out of this event. So he and I are in Newport, and we're like all in the cute vibes of the infatuation stage of when we're first getting together. We're all dressed up together. It's like, he's my date, I'm his date, and we got an Airbnb. It's the whole thing, right?
First wedding we've ever done together.
Yeah, first ever.
And the last, actually.
And first Airbnb we got together. There's a lot of firsts in that night. So he and I are together, and we're in the facility where this wedding is, and it's beautiful old mansions, all the beautiful decor, everything. And we meet this couple. I think we met them initially in the elevator on our way into the actual like reception and everything, where we were going to be eating and sitting and all that jazz. And they just had such an amazing energy to them. And Alan and I, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while now, he and I always have on our radar, like, what is a great vibe in terms of relationships? Who are great people? And you can feel and sense that. And you and I both picked up, this is a couple that we really like we can get along. And this couple was in their 50s, 60s. And you and I are coming off on that new energy of love. So it was really cool. We were in the elevator. We picked up on their energy, and we were like, there's something special. Turns out, fast forward, literally we sat down, and they were the couple. The couple right next to us was that same couple.
Because it was assigned seating. So they didn't sit next to us. We just happened to be next to them.
It was like kismet. It was so cool. So these are the people that, like, out of the entire event, it's like we were magnetized towards each other.
Kismet?
Kismet. It's like fate kind of thing.
Yeah. Destiny, fate.
Destiny. Yeah. So we sat next to each other, which was so cool. It was like friends. Like, so you and I in our 20s, 30s with this 50, 60 couple. Like it was just, we were having a blast together. And
I was still in my 20s then, love.
Were you?
I think so.
Fun. Okay, so we sit next to each other and like I'm just like all open-hearted. Like if you guys know me by listening to this podcast, like I love love. I love the ins and outs of it. Alan is obviously his own scientist of love too as well. And the two of us together, we just wanted to pick the brains of this couple. We just wanted to know, like, how did they get to this level of energy? And like, how do they keep this at this age? Because usually if you look around, there's so many couples that are miserable when they're together. And they weren't drinking, like, I don't think.
They were.
Were they?
Yeah.
Anyways, we end up I think it was me. I ended up asking them, what is your secret? I always do that with couples that are obviously their cups are so full. And what they had said to me is the quote that we like clung onto for ever since that moment.
4 years now.
And I said, what's your secret? And they go, everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. Everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. And that hit you and I in a way that was like, wowza. Yeah. Like that was just so wise.
Yeah.
And fast forward throughout the night, it was really, really cool because towards the end when they started to do all the slow songs and pretty much build up to the couples that had been together the longest, you know, everyone's on the dance floor and the DJ's like, the couples that have been together 2 years be on the dance floor. And then the couples that have been together 5 years or more stay on the dance floor. So anyone that was like younger together, they would have to leave the dance floor. So eventually the DJ built up to like 10 years together, stay on the dance floor, everyone else leave.
We had to leave on the first one.
We did. We did. So we were just kind of watching the progression of like the pool of the dance floor just getting.
Babe, now we would have been able to stay until the 5-year
We
one.
would have. Yeah. So the pool on the dance floor is getting like slimmer and slimmer. And then 30 plus years. Any couple that has been together 30 plus years.
Anyone here who's been here 2 weeks, get off the dance floor. We were like two weeks
watch.
At that point, I think, or like a month.
Yeah.
Couple months.
Yeah. And so the last two standing people that were on the dance floor, guess who it was? In the 30 plus years together bracket. It was the couple that sat down next to us. It was the couple that we met in the elevator. It was the couple that shared with us what their secret was to that 30 plus years of happily married, joyful abundance was everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. So we took that to heart and we want to bring this in this episode because really when it comes to this total episode and the intention that we have underneath this is how we took that one sentiment and what we did with that and how it's resonated so deeply in our relationship and what we've done with that. So to get us started, babe, give us all the things.
Okay, so everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. We took that and created a framework, like we do, of what we refer to as the top 5 cup fillers. For this episode, we're going to talk about top 3. So it's kind of like love languages. I'll speak high level on this. So you've heard of the love languages. We've done episodes in the past about love languages. If you haven't, go back and check that out. We also have a worksheet that will be linked in the show notes of all of the 25 conscious love languages. Okay? Cup fillers are a little different. They meet love languages, but they can stack the love languages on top. So we're going to give you our examples, but essentially everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. What we took that to mean, and I want to circle back to that couple. That couple had been together for 30 plus years, and they were extremely happy. They seemed fulfilled and genuinely happy still. That's something that growing up I never saw. I remember you and I talked about how scary marriage looked to us because we saw all these married couples that were not still passionately in love, were not still happy and fulfilled. And I saw a lot of that. This couple stood out big time, big time. So I want to make that clear. Okay, so top 3 cup fillers for each of us. Emilia and I are going to share 3 of ours. We have top 5, but we're going to share 3 of ours. So for me, for Emilia, the first one is physical care, which includes any sort of cuddling, massages, foot rubs in particular are the big leverage point on that one.
I love foot rubs.
Loves foot rubs. Last time I gave you a foot rub, I think you went into, I would say sleep, but I'll say coma. I think it was a coma. You slept in until like 10 a.m. the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great. Number 2 is supporting her sleep. So Emilia has expressed publicly some of her memory challenges. I got her a book. Book is another love language of hers. Books. I got her a book called Memory Recovery, and it talks about sleep and the connection to memory. And so helping protect her sleep, we also have these Aura rings. So we have sleep scores. So we compete with each other to see who can get a better sleep score. Emilia is winning, definitely. So I'm going to have to start waking her up in the middle of the night to win the competition. No, number 2 is support her sleep in solitude. Number 3 is outdoor adventures. Emilia is obsessed with nature. It is extremely cup filling every time we go anywhere in nature. And I could probably stay in my office all day, every day and still be fulfilled. So it's a win-win, and we want to make that clear.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to jump on here and talk about the Conscious Couple podcast that I've been listening to for a while now. And I absolutely love, whether you're single, in a relationship, or not, this is the podcast for you. I mean, think about it. If you're not in a relationship, look at it like building a house. If you were going to build a house, wouldn't you get the instructions, figure it out, look it over, start practicing some of the little things so that once you start doing it, it's going to be the best house that you ever built? Or if you're in the house already and there's issues that are going on with it, aren't you going to try and fix them? Or think about it while you're building the house and the base layer, there's some issues there. Don't you want to correct those and fix them before you work on the rest of it? Have a great day, guys. Awesome podcast.
Picture 2 couples. Okay, couple 1 is focused on everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. They focus on the cup fillers, and they both are abundant, and they are an overflowing cup. Couple 2 doesn't focus on each other's cup fillers. They're draining each other's cups and their own, and they're not fulfilled and overflowing. No matter which challenges come at either couple, the couple that's overflowing is always going to succeed, far more likely than the second couple. And that's what we're talking about here.
Definitely. And so to this episode, we want you thinking, are you measuring what matters in your relationship? So every relationship that we've come across has cup fillers, and whether or not they're measuring it to the level of detail that we are in terms of spreadsheets and everything, or just have it as a piece of paper on their fridge, measuring it can literally just look like checking in and saying, oh, I realize that I don't really feel super fulfilled in our outdoor adventures. Like, let's go do that, right? That check-in moment is so big. And are you measuring what matters? This is really, are you measuring what matters in terms of your cup filler? So for Alan, I can definitely tell when he has an empty cup, because we are always kind of constantly checking in on our cup fillers, because we have it right in the center of our home. If you listen to other episodes, you know that it's on our whiteboard. So we see that every single day. So some of Alan's top 5 cup fillers are: number 1, physical touch. I love. Number 2 is high vibe movies. Very specific there. High vibe movies.
Yeah,
so like,
it used to be just movies. We had to switch that one.
We had to switch it when we went to Austin Powers.
I don't like horror films, thrillers. I'm not a big fan. Please stop hitting my remarkable.
Just trying to physically touch you.
Yeah, of course. I'm grateful for it. But yeah, so high vibe movies, anything that's inspiring. Yeah. Super inspiring high vibe movies.
Yeah, absolutely. So my honey loves his high vibe movies. And when he doesn't get those, it's a staunch difference between Alan, that has a high vibe movie in the queue.
Avatar 2
even
was
the smile.
Yeah.
Right. Alan, who has the high vibe movie in the queue, or there's one that we're kind of working through. So like we just got through Avatar 2 in like 2 or 3 separate sittings.
I think it was 4 actually.
Really?
Because it was 3 hours and 37 minutes long. And it was the best.
It was the best. But it's a totally different you when there isn't an inspiring movie that you have to look forward to, or one that isn't like, I'm like, hey babe, like, what are we going to be watching next? So it's like, yeah, it's all over him. If you're not watching the YouTube video, look at the smile that is on his face, and to see my honey light up is amazing. So number 3 is specifically snuggle buns, i.e. snuggles. This is a very different subsection of physical care or physical touch. The first one is more sexually intimate, loving, caring. This one is strictly snuggles. My honey loves snuggles, and that's a huge cup filler. So I am all for it, because who doesn't love snuggling?
The official term love is snuggin' buns.
Snuggin' buns, right.
Snuggin' buns.
Snuggin' buns. And it's even better if Tucker and Tariel, our dog and our cat, and all of us are snuggin' buns together. With food, with movie.
That's
touching.
That's the trifecta.
Exactly.
So that's the best thing in the entire world, is when we're watching a high vibe movie with food while snuggin' buns. I mean, that's the best thing in the entire world.
Pretty much.
It's the best thing in the entire world. I'm a simple.
So it does get that simple though. And that's the thing. Everyone is, to one extent or another, that simple. And we tend to complexify it so much in our relationships where those are the cheat codes. Mm-hmm. Those are the things that make your relationship so abundant and so pure and with so much vitality.
It's almost embarrassing how simple it is.
Same.
And that's with the foot rubs.
It's like,
it's like, oh, it's so embarrassing.
That's all we
You're like,
to do?
yeah, that's it. That was it. Yeah, you're like the happiest person in the world for like a week and a half. And then it's like, I think the foot rub meter is coming down. But that's okay. That's okay. Let's not make it wrong.
Yeah, definitely. So those are the things that we're measuring that matter to our relationship. So again, everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. We're not focusing in on the little trivial things in our relationship of whether or not, and you'll probably giggle if you've listened to past episodes, whether or not the dishes are in the dishwasher. That is a trivial thing in our relationship, and we will certainly not be measuring that.
Which right now they are not. They are not from last night.
Right.
So what are your top 3 cup fillers and everything that matters and nothing that doesn't? And if you need help with this, reach out. And I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about a couple clients that we have that did this.
So we have a couple clients, and this is what I get really excited for, because it like relationships can seem super duper complex, but that's not the case. And here's where this couple started. They got in a relationship when they were younger, kind of in the early college phase. And now they've kind of continued through their relationship, not having any idea what matters the most in their relationship. They came to us on a relationship talks call. They're now clients. It's amazing. And their transformation in terms of measuring what matters in their relationship, they started just in a call with Alan and I saying, we don't really know what our biggest cup fillers are. And we kind of worked through that brainstorming session, helped them get clarity on what those cup fillers were, so that they can double down on what matters. They put it on, I think initially it was just a piece of paper on their fridge where they could see it every single day. And now they're transitioning over to putting it on a whiteboard somewhere in their living room or whatnot. So it's really, really simple. And it's amazing because they've transformed not only to like growing together instead of apart, but really growing in their goals, growing in what matters, and growing deeper in their love.
So let's make this as simple as humanly possible. Imagine this. Okay. Imagine you have a checklist on your fridge, 2 of them, 2 little notepads on your fridge. Okay, the top 3 cup fillers for your partner and for you. And then it's just each week you check in. Check, did it. Check, didn't do it. Once a week. Did it or didn't do it? Was there a foot rub this week? Was there a movie this week? Was there an outdoor adventure this week? Simple. Super, super simple. You can put tons of time and effort into things that really don't matter a lot. And then you wonder why you're not succeeding, okay? So the timer did just go off. We got to jump. I also have a call coming up very soon because we are actually recording this in the middle of the day instead of, at midnight. Okay, also we have a Relationship Talks virtual event. It's our 23rd event in a row. It's called the 3 biggest risks to your relationship failing. You don't want to get divorced. You don't want to break up. You want love to last. What are the 3 biggest risks to that happening? We use the Jenga tower analogy all the time. You take these blocks out and you put them on the top of the tower. Eventually, the tower is going to fall. How do you make sure that those blocks are not being taken out of the foundation of your relationship? May 11th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us. And sweetheart, anything you want to say before we go?
No, the only thing that I'll add to that is I forgot to mention, if you and your partner want to measure what matters, or at least you want to get clarity on what really, really matters to your partner or even to yourself, please book that in our calendars. Alan and I make sure that there's a half hour every single Saturday for our listeners specifically, where they can jump on in a safe space where it's completely free, completely private, so that you and your partner can kind of work through some of these things so that you can really honor and protect what matters most to your relationship. So that link is going to be in the show notes as well. And we would literally love to meet you. Imagine what could happen when you jump on a call with us, completely free, private, and then all of a sudden you get clarity on what matters most in your relationship. What can that do for your relationship is just like we talked about with that couple earlier. They're growing deeper, they're growing together, and they're accomplishing goals together, which is so cool.
I can't even imagine not knowing each other's cup fillers.
Yeah.
How much more difficult would it be to succeed together and to have an overflowing, abundant, incredible relationship when we don't know what each other values most.
It's like walking around blind or like with a blindfold over your face and trying to succeed in your relationship. It's not going to happen.
100%. So if you want help identifying your cup fillers, reach out, download the PDF in the show notes. There's 25 love languages. Go through those with your partner. You will benefit from this tremendously. Okay, we got to jump. So as always, it's not about you or me. We'll talk to you soon. It's about the we.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Conscious Couples podcast. We love connecting with the Conscious Couples community, so please make sure you follow us on Instagram. I am at Evolve with Emilia, and Alan is a Lazaros 88.
Also, if you or your partner resonated with this episode, leave us a review at the link in the show notes, and please share this with someone you love and care about.
Until next time, remember, it's not about you or me. It's about
the we.